Welcome in. This Clippers Talk After Dark. I'm Adam Osland as I open this Upside Dawn Athletic Brewing Company 0.045 calorie NA. Shout out Matt Money Smith. He always does this after Chargers games on Instagram. He'll have a beer and break down the game later. It's a cool thing. Get to interact with your play-by-play man. Boys of the Bolts, as Petros would say. Cheers, Clipper Nation. Big victory. Big victory also for not that we need validation or vindication, but for everyone like myself who has been defending Ivica Zubac against the casuals and the non-ball knowers. The Carl Tarts. I love Carl, but we were always right about Ivica Zubac and how good he is. I know it's just 3 games. I've seen enough because it's not just 3 games to me. All this is right now that's been happening with Ivica Zubac. This isn't him getting some or making some huge leap this offseason and turning into a different player like he worked out with Hakeem the first time. This is who he's always been, at least the last 2 or 3 years. This is who Ivica Zubac is if you give him the opportunity and the minutes. 21-9 game 1 against Phoenix, 24-15 game 2 against Denver yesterday, 23-18 with 6 assists against Golden State in the Clippers 112-104 victory. If you are a Zubac detractor, you've never understood ball. I know that's harsh, but you don't get it. You don't get how he's been one of the best rim protectors in the league forever. Since his first season with the Clippers, where he was the best within 6 feet. He was the best in the restricted area this past year. Oh, yeah. How about that in-and-out dunk he had? Zubac is this skilled, guys. I have been calling him a long-lost Gasol brother for years. In fact, I'm going to have to pull it up. I got to advanced search myself here on X because I'm keeping receipts and I'm going in tonight on anybody who's been hating on Big Zoo. And I'm going to show you how far I go back with Ivica Zubac and the amount of times that I've been asking for him to get more minutes. It is lengthy. I've been talking about this since 2021. I have been calling him a long-lost Gasol brother. That's how long I've been at this with Big Zoo. Don't believe me? Here's your receipt. Boom. Zubac is the long-lost Gasol brother. Been saying it. Like I read it out like it's You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Been saying it. Damn, I sounded cool there. Where is Carl Tart anyway? Where are all these casuals? Carl knows ball, but the guys who have been hating on Ivica Zubac for years, guys, giving Zubac love. Todd, do you know me? I've been talking about this. Look at the date, 2021. I call him the long-lost Gasol brother. I've been talking about this forever. How good Ivica Zubac can be. This ain't new to me. I'm not surprised by this. I'm just glad he's finally getting the respect he deserves. I'm tired. I'm tired of people going after Big Zoo and saying he can't catch the basketball. It's always been crap. It's never been rooted in reality. Otherwise, he would average like 5 turnovers per game. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else he can do to convince people that Zoo is him. I mean, the guy almost had a 30-30 game and then didn't get much run the next game. Like, all he needed was minutes. You give him the minutes. I said it all off season. Give him the minutes. He'll give you the production. I've been screaming about feed Zoo forever. I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand. The Zoo haters, the detractors, he's not a top 5 center. Not yet. I went through all the centers last night, guys. Don't make me do it again. See, I'm also not crazy. I keep things in reality, rooted in reality. Ivica Zubac is very good, but I could name at least 9 guys at the center position that are more established than Zubac. But the guy that was telling me he's not a top 20 center, and hey, by the end of this season, maybe he'll end up being a top 5 center. But the guy who was telling me the other night, you remember this guy? I'm going to bring him up because you guys helped me construct a tweet to him talking about Ivica Zubac after his last game where I just gave him the stat line. So maybe I should do it again, right? Just going to hit him with the stat line. The Bish. The Bish. Do you remember the Bish? Oh, Zoo haters in shambles tonight. I can name 9. I'll name them for you. Give me a second. He is top 5 vibes right now. Now, that's different. Ray's on top of things. You know I got the receipts. I've been waiting for this day where Ivica Zubac was unleashed, where he finally was being utilized on offense. Today is that day. Don't make me bring up the show I did on Clippers Talk on YouTube when he got his contract extension. I've been saying Zubac is a Rorschach test for if you know ball for a long time. If you don't, you see a drop pass and you think, oh, this guy sucks. You don't understand that he is an elite rim protector, pick and roll defender, and he just finished top of the league for centers from 5 to 9 feet out last year at 64% shooting. I'm not a hater. I can give you, okay, he's joking, he's winking. I can give you the guys that are better, that are clearly better based upon experience right now, but we don't know where this is going to go by the end of this season with Big Zoo. He's going to climb up the rankings real quick here. Do you think Ty will pull him quick, though? Did he the last 3 games? No. I said last year, Zoo is a made man. He has to play. He has to play 30 minutes. I talked with Law Murray this summer. I said over or under on 29 minutes. He took the under. I took the over. Right now, Zoo's averaging 37 minutes per game. It's not just an option to get Ivica Zubac involved anymore, guys. It's a necessity if you want to win. Come with Zoo if you want to win. Let Zoo take you home like he did tonight. A dribbling exhibition leading to a 2-handed dunk. You didn't know Zoo had that in him? Who is a better traditional center? I mean, it's a modern game. Who cares about traditional center and talking about that? It's a modern game. Top 5 drop coverage big in the league? Maybe, but probably not still. Right now, he's number 1 in rebounds, number 5 in assists, number 7 in points. But you guys remember the other night when I was already talking about Big Zoo. I've been talking about Big Zoo. Talking about him for years. I'm as big as Zoo Porter. And there's this guy named The Bish who put out, after one day in the NBA, the John Hollinger player efficiency ratings, which is also flawed like every other stat. Like there's stuff, it's not a catch-all. It doesn't get everything. Yeah, I know. He couldn't get as many touches in 2-1-3. But even when he was getting touches and he'd have a great quarter, they just go away from him. Or a great game, they go away from him. It's not a shock that Ivica Zubac just had back-to-back 20-point games for the first time in his career because they wouldn't consistently feature him. Now he's had back-to-back-to-back 20-point games. I agree with this. We'll see. But KPJ was better, played within himself more tonight. But I want you to see what I should say to the Bish now. Because after Zoo's game yesterday, and you guys helped me out, post-game, I said, what's the tweet I should give him? After this guy posted John Hollinger per ratings after 1 day so far in the NBA that had Jackson Hayes as the #1 player efficiency rating at the center position. And he thought he had a good argument for why Ivica Zubac isn't that good because he wasn't even on the list, even though he hadn't played a game yet this season. Like he posted during the Clippers game against Phoenix Wednesday night. He's like, Zoo's not even on the list, man. If you go back to that show from yesterday, you'll be able to see it. The Croatian sensation. So then I was like, what should I say to this guy after Zubac just had 24 and 15 against Jokic? Well, I thought it'd be appropriate just to type out 24 and 15. So I did. I put it right here. The Bish, 24 and 15. What did he respond with? Oh, give him a cookie. He finally had a good game. That's what he's saying here. Should I just post the stats again? Or should I say you're the one getting cooked right now in reference to his cookie gif? What do you guys think? What should I say to this guy? Because Zubac deserves all the love. Zubac has more fantasy points than LeBron. When you're done talking about supremacy, we need to talk about the man. I'll talk about the man. Jay's saying, where's Carl Tart, the Zubac hater? Nowhere to be found. He's in New York. I mean, come on. Carl Tart will face the music. He said, hey, if he plays better this season, I'll give him his love. The problem I have with all these people that are going to be like that, it's like he was already good. He's only playing better because they're actually giving him the basketball now. If they gave him the basketball before, he could have done this. He didn't have some massive leap this summer in his skill set. It's been there. He's been the long-lost Gasol brother, like I've been telling you. Todd Tate says, I want to see what Stephen A. has to say on NBA Today show about the Clippers and how they're playing now. Should I just give him the stats? Keep it classy? Okay. So Big Zoo finishes tonight 23, 18, and 6. That's the message I'll give him. 23, 18, and 6. Just give him the stat line. Just keep giving it to him. The Bish can wear it. I said, Bish, what do you want? There it is. Boom. We'll keep you updated on the situation here. I just think it's funny and fun to have you guys involved. So you craft a tweet. The Lakers gave Jerry West and the Clippers an MVP for garbage. Let's not call Mike Muscala garbage. I mean, he was hurt, but he's an NBA player. Rock Thousey said, Zubac's assist will make me a lot of money on Prize Picks this season. Well, way to go. Great win. FYI, we love Carl. He's just playing wrong in this instance and needs to know that we know. He also said Andre Drummond could hit threes. He said they should bring in Drummond because he can hit threes. That was weird. But we do love Carl Tart. And he came on with me just the other day. Out of nowhere, just because he was watching. If he's in here right now, if he's getting cooked, he can come in. That fake pass and drive with that dribble was nasty. from Ivica Zubats. I'm going to see if I can find it here. This was a hell of a play. You guys want it? Got it for you. This is a guy from Justin at LA Clippers Film. He was supposed to come on, be last time. This is crazy, but it's not that crazy. He's just getting his opportunity, and they're actually believing in him and showing confidence in him like they should have had. I know there were too many cooks in the kitchen and too many guys out there, too many superstars, but they still did not utilize Ivica Zubats nearly enough. The pass to James Harden on the dunk is another one, Al. Let me share this screen so you guys can see Zubats go into cook mode.
Zoo on the roll. Zoo on the roll. Goes all the way to the house. Zoo on.
Look at this. He looks over like he's going to make the pass in the short roll. Derrick Jones Jr., I think Kris Dunn over here. The quality's not great. Nope. Puts it on the floor. In and out dribble. Two-handed dunk. That's Big Zoo. That's what he's capable of. What, you think he just learned that this summer? No. They're finally using him. I have been saying this statement for years, and it goes like this. There is an easier path to win ball games, and it's playing through Ivica Zubats. For a team that has always struggled scoring easy buckets at the rim, and yet they had this guy the entire time. They said Carl Tart is fun. It's just also funny to tease an SNL writer about a bad take. We love Carl. Tim May said, do we know if JVG has had any influence on the offense with getting Zoo more involved? No, we don't. I thought he would be helpful on that side of the ball, too, having coached Ewing and Ming. No, that's interesting. I should check on that. Jen 7500 said, Clippers Talk presents the AAA segment, the Adam Osman analysis. I know, I've been telling you guys about Ivica Zubats forever. You know how many tweets I could pull up of me screaming, feed Zoo? Like, if you, I'm going to start it right now. Over the years, just me screaming and pulling my hair out. Saying, feed Zubats. It's tough. This has been a crusade of mine to get Ivica Zubats more involved because I could see it. I know it's hard. Too much star power. Especially last season with 4 Hall of Famers. But one of them obviously wasn't playing at a Hall of Fame level in Russ. I mean, Zoo has been this guy. Let's see if I can find. I don't want to go too far into this, but I'm just going to look like an a-hole in the end. I just can't tell you what an advocate, doctor's advocate, Zubats' advocate that I have been for so long. I can't tell you guys. I'm so happy to finally see Ivica Zubats flourishing, getting the rock, making the most of his opportunity. All these people in the first half of the game against the Phoenix Suns were already like, oh, this isn't going to work. Giving up on him immediately because he picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter and was out of rhythm. How many people are backtracking right now on Ivica Zubats? How many, honestly? Give him the rock. Let him go to work. Let Big Zoo feast. Let him feed on the opposition. You have, I guess, a secret weapon. It wasn't a secret to some of us. Great talking about that play. The crowd knew that was nasty. Jay said he spit water out. Frankie Boy 9 said Zubats for me is better than the bigs of the game right now, all thanks to James Harden. I mean, you do have to give James Harden credit. Most of the credit should go to Ivica Zubats. I mean, that play is all of Ivica Zubats, but obviously bigs are dependent on getting the basketball. James Harden when he said, "I wonder why" the other night. We'll play some post-game audio for you coming up. But he makes everyone better, especially big men. Old Dirty Dasher said he was saying it since he was traded to the Clippers. Well, you got to hear this because I'm showing mine. Rock Dowsey said, if only Harden was like 27 or 28, and this team was the foundation of the next era post 2-3. How about if only Kawhi can come back healthy right now and how good this team looks, how good they could be with a healthy Kawhi. Nobody will want to see him. He'll fall away from the playoff series, but I said this before the season started. Like, no one will want to see a healthy Kawhi in a 7-game series. I don't care where the Clippers finish. If they're 8 and taking out OKC at the 1 seed, OKC does not want them. And what has happened so far has only confirmed my belief that the Clippers are a live dog. They are dangerous. If they get in first round, get in the 7-game series healthy, they could beat just about anybody, I think. The game had a lot of people nervous. This Clippers team, they withstood 3 different runs by the Golden State Warriors, but none bigger than the one late in the ball game in the fourth quarter after they had an 11-point lead. It was 101-90. And then the Golden State Warriors started making some things happen. I think it was Kuminga who did some damage, but it was a 1-point game, guys. A 1-point game. Second quarter, Clippers had a big lead. Golden State made their run. Clippers pushed back. Still were leading at the half by 5. That's the type of grit and adversity that you have to figure out how to play through. And for them to get it in back-to-back games, 2 of the first 3 games of the season, to show that off, that's really damn impressive. Because you start that second quarter, Clippers go on a run. But Golden State made one right back. But the run I want to talk about is in the fourth quarter late, because it was down to a 1-point lead. It's 101-90 after Derrick Jones Jr. makes one of 2 free throws at the line. Andrew Wiggins, 3-pointer. Kevon Looney, 2-pointer. Clippers timeout. Coach Lou, by the way, deserves a ton of credit, guys, for putting in the right guys. No one's talked about him enough. For his lineup and rotations, going back to the same 5 that started the fourth quarter really well against Denver yesterday. That would include Kevin Porter Jr., Kris Dunn, Amir Coffey, Ivica Zubac. Who else is in there that I'm missing? Nico Batum. That 5 has been doing work. Clippers came into the fourth up 86-79. They extended the lead. They got them up 11. Love seeing that. Some people were complaining, like, why bring in James Harden at the 6:43 mark? They're up by 10. And after being up by 7 heading into the fourth, they extended it by 3 before James Harden came in. Well, you got to understand, the backups plus Zoo there, they were also going up against the backups for the most part of the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry had just come back in. Andrew Wiggins just came back in. When they made the run to go up by 11, they're going up against the Golden State Warriors backups. So if they're not beating their starters, as Golden State brings their starters in, you want to bring yours in, or else that could get out of hand real quick. It's not like they put Zubac on the bench. Did he end up playing the entire fourth quarter? Ivica Zubac? Can you guys tell me that? We were bringing up a point about James Harden and his game should age really well. Yeah, Jonathan Ings said had Zoo gotten more opportunities with 2-1-3, that would offset some of the heavy offensive load the lifting 2-1-3 was doing. I mean, that wasn't the issue. In the end, it just comes down to Kawhi getting hurt. I don't think that can't go down that path. Really can't. Jay says, "Do you think he could do this without a decent point guard like Harden? Westbrook could never help you in this way. PG couldn't." I mean, that's a fair point. I honestly think he could do some of this though, because some of it is just Zoo going to work on the block, overpowering guys, and making quick decisions once he gets it to his spot. Not all of it's just James Harden mastery. A lot of it is. Don't get me wrong. You got to give him credit. Ray said a Warriors fan on Reddit called us the Corpse Clippers. I kind of dig it. I don't know if they'd appreciate it. We'll see. Tim A said, I think Harden's game should age well. It can, but he's also playing, and it's a warning sign, probably too many minutes so far this season out of necessity. I said it after game one where he had to play 40 minutes. I just don't want to see him burn out. He was at 36 tonight. So he is so far averaging 38.5 minutes per game, guys. Excuse me, 39. He's only shooting 38.5% from the floor so far. Have these stats been updated? Either way, 40 minutes, 38 minutes, 36 minutes, it's not sustainable. I'll tell you that right now. And for everybody saying, like, Kevin Porter Jr. can't play and he's nuking the offense, you guys wanted to talk about that last night. Well, the reason he had a positive plus minus yesterday against Denver, and I'd say today was Kevin Porter Jr.'s best game, plus 16 in 17 minutes. He was just 2 of 7, but they were both a jump shot and a banked in three, not dunks. And he had a couple of steals. He had some nice plays and wasn't forcing the issue. He was fouled going to the basket at the end of the first quarter after hitting that right elbow fade at the 2:45 mark. I said this in the preseason. That's his shot, right elbow, fade away from KPJ. Then he had a steal and got it up to Batum for an easy one. He drew an offensive foul. KPJ had some really good moments in this game, guys. That's why you just can't give up on a guy and say, well, look at him. He's too rusty. He doesn't look right. He's not an NBA player. He just wants to ISO. He won't look at anybody else. I told you in the Denver game yesterday, he had some really nice passes that didn't end up being assists because guys missed shots. But he was starting to look for guys more. And then that happened even more so in this game. That's why, maybe Coach Lue knows something you don't, that he can get more out of them. And he's got to get a real opportunity because James Harden playing those high of minutes is just not sustainable. So then it's Kris Dunn and KPJ and maybe Bones Highland if he ever gets run. I don't know if that's going to happen, but there aren't that many ball handlers. There aren't many that can do what KPJ can. His potential is too high with playmaking, with being able to create a shot for himself to just give up on after 2 games, guys. Yeah, the Dunn DJ lineups were legit defensively. I genuinely don't think people realize the upgrade from Russ to Dunn. Better. I said Dunn was my new favorite Clipper this offseason. Guy's a badass. Just outworks everybody. He's the new Pat Bev. Trying to tell people about it. Now you're seeing he's falling in love with Kris Dunn. The steal on Curry, the layup, is the free throw, but another steal. Gave it to KPJ, who gave it back, unfortunately. Bad turnover. The tip play with him and Derrick Jones Jr. getting it to Harden for that long three in the second half off the offensive rebound by Kris Dunn. Then he had a deflection where he just jumped the passing lane as they were trying to find Steph Curry on the left wing. I think it ended up off Steph Curry. I know they couldn't have the ball back. He had a big board over Looney. And then in the fourth quarter, he had that floater where he created some offense with that backup 5 crew that doesn't have a lot going for it. But they won their minutes again. They were very good. And you have to create for yourself sometimes. Dunn did it. He has been confident in his shot. Couldn't hit a 3-pointer in this one, but he had the steal also late in the fourth. Midway through when Harden came back in. but then they gave it right back. Those hustle plays from Dunn, the little things that he's able to do for this team, really, really special. As Coach Lewis said, it's like having another Nico Batum. He just doesn't make bad plays. You trust him. The Norm block, okay, maybe the possession of the game where the Clippers are up. I want to make sure I get this right. This might be the possession of the game defensively, guys. This was incredible defense. And I want to make sure I'm looking at this right. Because Wiggins just hit a three. Harden just had a layup. Let me see what the score was. This is late in the fourth quarter. Remember, it was just a 1-point game. 1 point in the fourth. It was that tight with, let's see, 101 to 100 after Andrew Wiggins' three at the 3:47 mark of the fourth. Then the James Harden layup. This is the best defensive play of the game. So it's 103-100. Clippers are up by 3. And they put together just an incredible sequence on the defensive end. It was first Kris Dunn playing great defense, then Norman Powell having the block. I think that was on, Buddy Hield in the far side corner. And then Kris Dunn saved it to Derrick Jones Jr., and it's a Norm three-pointer that ended up being a 2. That's the game, honestly. That was as big as anything. Because then the Clippers started to pull away a little bit. Warriors called a timeout after the long 2. They reviewed it. Now they're up 105 to 100. Andrew Wiggins did hit a jumper right out of the timeout. But then Ivica Zubac, that's when he had the big dunk. One of them. This team right now, a lot of fun for Nation. Jay said Kris Dunn was great. I like how he shoots when open. His rebounding is underrated. I was wrong on him. Later on it. Rock was responding about 2-1-3. And if they had given Zubac more opportunities to lessen the workload. So, yeah, they had a heavy workload. Seems like they both missed more time than they played. Role players talked about how discouraging it was to lose with no stars. Ivica Zubac a couple of years ago said, Clippers can't have nice things. They were really discouraged. Jonathan Ing said, yep, Ty has been good with rotations, not experimenting too much with weird stuff, putting in the right guys and pulling guys at the right point of the game. That Mexican Nara said, how did man look out there? I didn't see the past 2 games, but based on his stats, it's not looking good. I'm going to have to put together some of the Terrence Mann defensive possessions against Steph Curry in this game, guys, because if you're box score watching, it doesn't really tell you anything. He had some really good possessions against Steph Curry. Steph got up Steph, I think, got up, let me make sure, 6 shots in the first half. He got up 6 shots. I know it's not all just Terrence Mann on him, Derrick Jones Jr. as well, but Terrence Mann was on him. Plenty of possessions. And yeah, Steph Curry was 3 of 6. All 3 of his makes in the first half were from 3. But Terrence Mann had some great ball denying plays with him. Like, if you just want a box score watch, you're missing a lot. Rock said appreciate Reggie and Beverly, but there were times we had issues making entry passes. That's fair. Jonathan said that defensive stop and save from DJ when Dunn gives to James. Yeah, that I just described. And then Zoo to Norm Powell. That's an incredible, incredible play. Jonathan Ing said KPJ was solid tonight, showed maturity. I give him credit, took the right shots for the most part, made the right reads. Yeah, well, everybody's saying that, they should bench him and give up on him already, and it's over after 2 games. Guys, please have some patience. Coffee and Ball said KPJ was decent today, good passing, but still not comfortable shooting or finding a shot. Well, the 2 he made, one was a right elbow jumper, and one was a banked in 3. That was a big one. I don't like this comment. I'm not even going to read it. Jay said the KPJ is super shifty. Handles remind me of Jamal Crawford, most definitely. Even used the Crawford crossover on Peyton II. Yep. Dunn had 9 rebounds, too. He had some hard rebounds. Dr. Shapp is the president of the Kris Dunn fan club, but I remember watching him at Providence and being like, I love this guy. I never would have thought his NBA career would have turned out like this. I mean, he was a good offensive player. Now it's about the defense. Urban Figure said PJ Tucker, Bones Highland, and Terrence Mann for Jordan Clarkson. Why? I get shot creation, but Jordan Clarkson's a bad defender, man. I don't know if you want to do that. Do you guys remember what the Clippers did to Jordan Clarkson in that series against Utah in 2021? They hunted him a lot. Uncle Mike said James Harden is helping KPJ scrub the rust off. I know what he can do because I've seen it before. Elite playmaking. Like, he's averaged 6 assists per game. He missed an entire year of NBA basketball. If things are starting to slow down, and that is what today was indicative of for KPJ, that's quite the development. Mikey Ramirez said Big Zoo is going to be big trouble because, yeah, he is that good. Timothy said, Adam, did you see that Robert Flom tweet? Can you check him on him? He said this Clippers team is fun. Oh, God. The Eeyore of Clippers Media said this Clippers team is fun. That's interesting. I may have to find that here. Let's see. Yep, I got it for you guys. You want to see it? I know you're not going to believe it unless I post it here. This is actually from Robert Flom saying, at 8:08 p.m., the Clippers have not only been competitive and good through 3 games, they've also been fun to watch. It's been great. Shocking. Shocking stuff. Justin Russo said, I'm sending the National Guard to come get you. Like he's being held hostage. He said they'll find me in Dunn Island. Someone else asked if he's good. Robert Flom said, everyone is so surprised. Well, yeah. Sarita said KPJ scary on defense. Yeah, that's a timeout. Jay said JVG is like a coaching cheat code. That's a good way to put it. The Jeff Van Gundy genie, the defensive genie, the game genie. Let's go Clippers. We got dogs. Coffee and Ball said, where'd the Jordan Clarkson stuff come from? The Clippers spent all summer focused on defense and high B-ball IQ to make a Jordan Clarkson move. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we talking about Clarkson, guys? I know what he can do on offense, and I understand that part of it, but it could really hurt you defensively. Jonathan Ing said, if the Clippers end up making a trade, it should be to clear a pathway for Jordan Miller to get an opportunity to play, not for Clarkson. Don't need him to take minutes away from Miller. Exactly. Jonathan Ing bringing some sanity in here, per usual. You guys want to hear some post-game audio? Because I do. I want to hear from the head coach. I want to hear from Big Zoo. Some of the players after this one. We'll do what we did yesterday. I'll have to play it on my side on the phone while I share the screen for you guys. This is coming from Hoop Jab, who gets this great audio for us. We'll make sure I got it pulled up. Brad Turner, hear him there. I'll share the screen, and you guys can hear from Coach Lou after the Clippers win 112-104. Second straight game they hold a team to 104 points. A high-scoring team that just outscored their last 2 opponents combined by 77.
That's allowed you guys to stay composed these last 2 games and win it when it's so close?
You know what, BT? I think we got the right intent. We got the right intent, and our hearts are in the right place. Like, no matter who's playing, as long as we come out to win, you see everybody on the bench is cheering for one another, and that's what it's about. I thought Kris Dunn really changed that game tonight defensively, everything he did defensively, and guys are happy to see him do that. And so if you got the right intent and your heart's in the right place, you're going to play good basketball. I mean, we didn't finish the game like we wanted to, being up 11, give up an offensive rebound. I think they scored 5 points in 15 seconds, which we can't allow that. but just have the composure to come back and still win the game. But we got to do better, against teams that's going to pressure and pick up full court. We just got to be better. We can't turn the ball over and let them take us out what we're trying to do. And so, we get back to the drawing board on that. Our guys know what we're supposed to be doing, but we got to execute it. But like you said, BT, to win 2 of the 3, close games against 3 very good teams, I thought it meant a lot. It meant a lot about our character and how we want to play and compete every night.
What's the most improved part of Ivica Zubac's game right now?
I think, he's taking his time, understanding that he's probably going to be the biggest guy on the floor most nights. And when we get him the ball in the paint and get to a sweet spot, we're using money, and so just slowing down, hate to see him play that many minutes on the back-to-back, but we needed every second of it, and I thought he was huge. And so now, we give him 2 days off and get ready for Portland. But overall, just think, like Zoo, just protecting the rim. I think, defensively, understand we're going to mix up coverages, and then offensively, just like the game slowing down for him, taking his time.
To have 4 guys scoring double figures, how much does that help James not have to carry so much of the offensive load?
It's a lot. I think it was big for Norm to get going in that second half. I think it was huge. And like I said, Norm, he didn't press. Just said I got to play better in the second half and made some big shots. And in that second half, he really carried us offensively. And so that's what I'm saying. I told you it could be anybody's night. But Norm stepping up in that second half, Zoo having 23, DJ having 18. That means a lot. If we're playing the basketball the right way, it could be anybody's night.
Ty, how big of a sequence was it there when Norm had that block on Buddy in the corner and then came down and hit the corner jumper himself?
It was huge. The whole sequence, Norm with the big block, KD with the big save inbounds, and then go down and Norm hits the 2, which I thought was a 3. But just like I said, overall, just a team effort, playing hard, competing, and making the right play.
And going back to James, obviously he was only 6 of 19 from the floor with the 11 assists. It feels like he's just been living in double-digit assists to start the season. What are you seeing from him where even when the shot's not falling, he's still able to pretty much walk to 10 assists a night?
Well, he can just, he can just orchestrate the game. That's what he does. If he's not scoring, he can rebound the basketball. He can get you 10, 12, 15 assists. So he just knows how to read the game and play the game, how it's supposed to be played, and he can make guys better. And so that's the unique thing about James, a guy that can score, so easily, but being able to affect games when he's not scoring.
Coach, your team forced the Warriors into 20 turnovers tonight. What did you see that, to where you guys made them uncomfortable and made them, throw the ball away?
I think just the intensity and understanding that we didn't want to allow, paint, catch, layups, or dunks, and just pulling in on the weak side, making sure we have 3-4 guys in the paint on the weak side, and make them skip the ball out. And so I thought that we did a good job of, breaking on balls when they had a chance to get some at the basket or trying to thread the needle in the interior. We did a good job of breaking on balls and coming up with steals.
Just one more Zoo question because I think he's earned it. I think he's only had 1 game where he's had more than the 6 assists that he had tonight. It's like I remember last year it took him like a dozen games to get that many assists to start that year. Like, what are you kind of helping him with the ball handling and the passing part of his game? Because if he's going to get these touches, he's got to be able to find his teammates as well as get his own.
Yeah, I think a lot of his assists come out of, when Norm or James are being blitzed and he's catching in that pocket on a short roll and then just reading the defense and making the right play, and so he's been very good at that. And so, teams going to put 2 on the ball. We got to make them pay, and we got to be able to capitalize. Yeah.
I love it. Let's unpack some of what Coach Lou was talking about before we hear from James Harden here post game. Appreciate you guys being in here. Clippers Talk After Dark. If you're new, I'm Adam Osland. Finished the post game show a little bit earlier on 70 LA Sports. Clippers won 112-104 up north of the Golden State Warriors. They're 2-1 after sweeping the back-to-back. They were in Denver yesterday. First of all, Coach was talking about Kris Dunn and his defense changing the game and the spirit of the team, guys rooting for one another and not caring about minutes already. They're focused on winning, nothing else. He did say they didn't finish the way he wanted them to. And it reminded me of a couple of plays, as he brought them up, of course. But to try to conserve the energy of James Harden in the fourth quarter, they were having Derrick Jones Jr. bring up the ball. He lost it. I think Pods took it away. There was a Looney layup. And then Derrick Jones Jr. had a bad turnover out of a timeout after I think it was a 4-point game, where he threw it into the backcourt looking for a Ivica Zubac violation. So they're not satisfied. They wanted to finish stronger, run through the tape. They showed the composure to pull through anyways. That is cool to hear. They talked about Ivica Zubac taking his time, slowing down a little bit. Norm in the second half, the moments he had. End of the third quarter where Norm scored, I think it was 9 straight points for the Clippers. Huge, huge buckets by Norm. Derrick Jones Jr. having 18 points, guys. He had 12 points in the first quarter. He started 5 of 5, 2 threes, 3 dunks, 5 of 5. And Coach Lue reiterated what he said yesterday, how it could be any night with this team. Audio's choppy. It's because I got to remember to pause it afterwards. That's my fault. I should have been checking on you guys. How we doing now with the audio? How we doing now? Jay said, just hope going forward we can get Harden, Zubac, and Powell some more resting games. Yeah, Coach Lue talked about having to play Ivica Zubac that many minutes. 39 yesterday, 37 tonight. But 2 days off. Jay said, if Ty went 11 deep, they might not have to play Harden, Zoo, and Norm 40 minutes. Yeah, but they're trying to win ball games too. Like, I get it. We'll see. David Hong said, great to see Zoo consistently improving year after year. Totally earned his contract. Sure, he's been improving. He's also been like this. He has also showed all these flashes before and glimpses into what he can be if they just get him the damn ball. Which is why last year, I made this last year, guys. I don't know. I've showed you this before, but it's the old Keyshawn Johnson, just give me the damn ball. I made this last season for Big Zoo. So I posted it again tonight with this link. I really think this is considerably more about Ivica Zubac getting the opportunity than all of a sudden he's this different player. He's been like this. Audio fix, my bad. I got to remember that. I let YouTube keep running there. But yeah, Coach Lue basically talked about Kris Dunn. His defense changed the game. They didn't finish how they wanted to. You had those turnovers with Derrick Jones Jr. bringing it up the floor instead of James Harden, who was trying to play off ball to conserve his energy. And he said Zubac needs to take his time, slow down. Norm, the great second half, end of the third quarter, 9 straight points from Norm. Derrick Jones Jr., 18 points, 5 of 5 to start the game. 12 of his 18 coming in that first quarter. So should we not bench KPJ? Because all you guys yesterday were saying KPJ's cooked, he's done. Why are they playing this guy? Bench him. So should they not? One game later, now you don't think they should? That's why I kept bringing up prisoner of the moment. It was 2 games. They're going to need this guy. As Coach Lue said, media day, for us to have success, he's going to have to make a big impact. Outside of Harden, he's the second best playmaking ISO guy they have. He is. If you're not familiar with this game, I get how they can sound crazy right now, but I think you've seen a little bit of what he can do. Jonathan Ing said, I was surprised Derrick Jones Jr. ended up with 18 points. Outside the crazy alley-oops and the threes, I didn't realize it until I saw his final box scores because he had 12 of his 18 in the first quarter. Guys, that alley-oop from beyond half court from James Harden to him was insane. In fact, I might have to play that. This alley-oop from James Harden to Jarek Jones Jr. If I can find the video of this. Derek Jones dunk. That was a crazy alley-oop. Why am I getting plays from like last year? I want today's dunk. Today, Junior. I mean, where Harden threw that from. If anybody can find it, get to me at Follow Out of May, and I'll bring it up and share it with the group. Just insane. We haven't seen a player like this on the Clippers in a while. Meanwhile, yeah, Kai Jones hasn't been playing as much because Ivica Zubac is infinitely better. Sorry, Kai Jones fans that thought he should be starting over Zoo. Maybe you're figuring things out now and understanding basketball a little bit more. Oh, yeah, there were plenty of people who said that this summer. That's why I get irked. And I try to make a point and emphasize how good Ivica Zubac is and why this is not surprising to me. But I know for a lot of people right now, they're like, oh, Ivica Zubac has that in him? Yan Tier said, I didn't say send KPJ to third string. I want to give him enough run to see if the rust continually comes off. Dunn got man's minutes, though, as we talked about. You guys focus too much on who's starting sometimes. Like I've said all summer, I think Kris Dunn could easily start next to James Harden, play the Pat Bev role, just like in Houston. Cool. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no need to take Terrence Mann out of the starting lineup. It's about who finishes games. It's about who's hot. Mann only got 18 minutes. Kris Dunn got 28. He had the better game. The focus on who should be starting and the backlash on Terrence Mann right now seems to be a little bit too much. Fraboli said, hope we can get a good lead early against the Blazers. Will be good to have the reserves get some run. Bones and Miller. Let's not start. There's a line from The Wolf in Pulp Fiction. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, basically. Let's not, Portland, who did they take down the other night? Didn't they smoke the Pelicans? Blazers score. I think they did. Yeah, 125-103. Portland just annihilated New Orleans. You can't take anyone lightly. Not when the Clippers definitely aren't the most talented team right now. But their heart, their hunger, their sacrifice, and that defensive acumen of Jeff Van Gundy, really special. Clippers Cave said, Coffee is a really good role player, man. Makes it difficult to try to get Jordan Miller in there, especially when it seems like most of our games are going to be close this season. Yeah, everybody wanted Coffee out for Jordan Miller. Well, how do you do that? Amir Coffee has been as big as anyone through 3 games. Blazers could be a trap game because the next night they're taking on Phoenix again. Halloween. They can't let that happen. Yeah, Kevon Looney had a couple of plays when the game turned back in favor of the Golden State Warriors that were bugging me. All right, I want you to hear, who else do we got here? Let's hear from Kris Dunn. Do you guys want to hear from Kris Dunn first or James Harden first post-game? You guys tell me here. You decide. You make the call. Who do we want, Kris Dunn or James Harden here post-game? I understand getting excited. I'm excited too. I'm trying to curb some of the excitement. They're 2-1. It's really early in the season, but things have played out in a way that I expected. If Ivica Zubac gets the minutes, he's giving you the production. The Clippers brought in all these defensive guys. I thought they'd be really good. I thought they'd have offensive lapses where they'd go into deep funks. That has happened too. But they've been scrappy and gritty late. Jay says Dunn. Dunn or James Harden postgame, guys? Who do you want to hear from? This beer is just NA. If you know me, I stopped drinking a couple years ago. I don't think I'd be capable of doing as many lives if I hadn't. All right, we got a couple of votes for Kris Dunn here. I'm just going to go with it because I really want to hear from him post game. He might say something spicy. Got to play it on my phone at the same time. Who's this coming from? Still from Hoop Jab on YouTube. Show some love to the account. It's only 2 minutes and 16 seconds here. It's about actions with Kris Dunn. But he can talk a little bit. He can talk a little junk too. All right, I'll play this for you. I told you guys he was going to be a fan favorite. As soon as they got him, that was my new favorite Clipper. Dr. Schaap had it first. Fine.
PG coaching. I think everybody just buys in, and it's going to be anybody night defensively. It's just the effort we've been putting in since training camp, and we try to implement it once we get into the real games.
Ty also said that the bench was really fired up for you, seeing you do your thing out there. What's the camaraderie been like with this group? I know it's just been 3 games, but what's that been like so far?
Really good. I mean, that's mandatory. We need everybody, who's playing to not playing, because you never know it's going to be somebody else's night, and you got to make sure that you apply others, because when it's your turn, you want the same reaction. And tonight was definitely a good team win.
What is allowing you to, just be in the passing lanes all the time? You're deflecting. I don't even know what your actual deflections are, but that's obviously you're blowing up ATOs. You're being heavily disruptive. Like, what allows you to do that against a variety of teams right now?
I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but my job becomes easier when you have other really good defenders on the team and everyone buying in. So when everyone do that, it makes my job easier.
Talk about the end game pressure when you guys had big double-digit lead and they got it down to single digits. What was the pressure like for you guys to respond correctly?
We got to understand there's no pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball. Basketball is a game of runs. They're going to make their push eventually. We got to be able to withstand it. If we're down, we're going to make our push, and they're going to try to withstand it. So you just got to be able to stay sane, execute on both sides, and whoever is more greedier that night has more energy usually come out with the win.
Do you feel that the performance from last night carried over to this night, even though it was a back-to-back?
I mean, we got a bunch of people, man. I could say Norm, because that's the easy way out. I could say Uno. He's one of our leaders. Zoo been phenomenal. DJ. I could go down. I mean, I could go on and on. Mir, he was really good tonight. Scoot, I think Scoot did a tremendous job tonight. He's starting to get his rhythm in, get his flow back. We got to understand he was just trying to work his way back. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kris Dunn there, post game. I want to hear from James Harden in a little bit, but let's talk about a little bit what Kris Dunn said. First of all, somebody's saying they're late here. A lot of people late when it comes to Big Zoo, but Enrico said, I'm late. Zubats will win most improved player. I said this with Carlo Jimenez on the air on the broadcast. He brought it up first. It's smart. I agree. There's a real good chance he'll win most improved player. Wasn't there a time, I forget which sport it was, but there was a time last year it was Tyrese Maxey who won. Şengün was nominated, Kobe White. I feel like there was a time they didn't have it not that long ago. But here's the thing. I don't think it's about him being different or vastly improved. I think it's about just him getting the opportunity. It should be guy who took advantage of a big opportunity award for Ivica Zubats. I know that is a word salad nastiness, or it's a mess of words. But I'm just saying, like, this is not about Ivica Zubats turning into a different player this summer. This is about the Clippers finally getting him involved. That's what this is. Other people want to talk about how we feel about the nickname Zuno. It's all right. If they like it, I'm with it. What I liked from Kris Dunn is he carried over what Coach Lou said about it being anyone's night. And he talked about the buy-in that everyone has with this team and how everyone's cheering each other on. And it's great to see because it could be anyone's night. So you're cheering someone else on one night, that next night they might be cheering you on as you're the guy that's playing well. It's just the camaraderie is strong with this team, as Joey Lynn asked that question. And he was very matter of fact about the game of basketball and not worried about, as I'm watching him on the screen, as I got the replay on right now, I'm worried about that left shoulder with him. I hope he's okay. But he just kind of dumped it down to it's a game of runs. With the Clippers go from being up 11 in the fourth quarter to only up 1, there's no reason to panic. It's a game of runs. It's supposed to happen. This is the game of basketball. I think he used stay sane. You got to stay sane at one point. I don't know if you guys heard that. So, love Kris Dunn. Fan favorite already. Rafael Romo said, damn, what a game. Howard said, off to work. I'll listen on my way to work. Thank you, Adam, for great content. I'm tired of listening to other Clippers podcasts that are casuals and generic, overreacting and no substance. Are you trying to throw red meat my way? I appreciate you, Howard. I'm just trying to bring something a little bit different because there hasn't been like a Clippers station for some time. So I'm just trying to make my YouTube that. I can jump on here whenever I want. It just makes it easy. Don't have to schedule anything. I can just go. Just streaming consciousness. Just whatever thoughts I have about this team. And yeah, I'm a little bit older. I've watched a lot of ball. I don't know. I try to put things in perspective and not get too high or get too low like some of the players always say. Because it's a long season and as exciting as this is, and I love having fun after big victories, even though it's just game 3. Because with this team this year, it's something I talked about with Brian Seaman, and he brought up when he came on the show this summer, and he'll be on again soon. But he said, you know, what's going to be so fun about this team is every game is going to matter so much because they're not the most talented. They can't afford to give away games. You could say they gave away the Suns game. They were up by 9 with 3:52 left. You have to win that game. Did they make up for it, winning 2 in a row? I think so. 2-1 is a great record given the level of opponents that they have faced so far through 3 games. But yeah, we talked about, I brought up, how are you guys going to panic if they start 0-3? Instead, they're 2-1. Giuseppe said this. Pleasantly surprised. I was ready for an 0-3 start. Every game is so meaningful. It feels like the playoffs have already started to me in some ways. I know that's crazy, but every game, every day is the Super Bowl. Every game is big. JJ the Boy said, I've seen enough to hand Big Zoo the guy who took advantage of the Opportunity Award. Yeah, that's the guy who took advantage of the Opportunity Award. That's the award he should win. I don't think they have that in the NBA, but they should. Clippers Cave said, Kris Dunn's rebounding has been impressive. He is really like Pat Bev with those hustle plays and timely boards. Yeah, you remember Pat Bev? He would always get a key offensive rebound late in the game. May not always, but often. Patrick Beverley was good for that. He was my favorite player on the Clippers then. Kris Dunn is that guy now. I guess he didn't have an offensive rebound in this game, but he had some tough rebounds among the trees to end defensive possessions, which they need to do. And the Clippers, once again, won the rebounding battle, 48-47. It was close, but you'll take that. I didn't think they'd be a top 15 rebounding team coming into this year. But so far with their effort, they have proven me wrong in that way so far. Clippers Cave said, we really got this man Zoo for Mike Muscala. Howard's from the Philippines. Okay. There's a big population of Filipinos in LA, no doubt, and we are big basketball fans. I've heard that. Most are Lakers fans, though. Not me. I'm a Kawhi fan and eventually love the Clippers. Ballmer won me over. He'll do that. Cool to hear from you, Howard. Safe travels to work. We'll stick with you. G-Master said, it's our time. I told you we were good to go. Giuseppe said, pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I was ready for the 0-3 start. Clippers Cave said, I feel like every win is going to feel so rewarding this year. Probably. Because they don't have this overwhelming talent disparity in their favor now. Now it's the other teams that are typically more talented maybe overall on paper, but the Clippers can outwork them. That's what we want. Proboli said, if we keep our pick by beating Houston's record, do you think we will draft or trade? I know it's hard to say, but it's fun to hear your prediction. All right, I appreciate you acknowledging that it's hard to say because you know how I am about looking too far forward, especially on a night like tonight, but you've come correct with it. I mean, a lot of this still depends on Kawhi's health. Can he stay healthy for a sustained period of time and make you believe that he can be a number one option on a championship team and make it through a playoff run? In that case, and only in that case, would I say you'd think about trading the pick and bringing in someone that is more developed and ready. Yawning Tears said, hey, Adam, random question, but do you have any games circled on the calendar that you can't wait to see? Honestly, what's crazy about me is I typically don't look too far ahead because it gets overwhelming. Not that my job is hard or anything like that, and I enjoy doing it. And as Brian Seaman says, the worst day working in the NBA is the best day anywhere else, and that is the truth. But I just don't want to think about it. The next game I have circled is Wednesday with the Clippers taking on Portland. And then after that, the next game circled is Thursday against Phoenix. That's just how I'm wired right now. G-Master Funkflex said, we should give this team a shot. We look at the standings when we're 40 games in. Yeah, look at it then, guys, because I'm telling you, the one thing that worries me so far is just James Harden having to play this many minutes. Averaging 38 minutes a game is not sustainable. JJ the Boy said, crazy, we really traded Russ for Dunn. Holy crap, what a great signing. I mean, I was all about it then. You guys know how I feel about Russ. Wish him well, but not a fan of his style of ball. Coffee and Ball said, is there anything new on Bamba? We're going to need his size to give Zoo some breathers. That's a good point. Like Kai, the last 2 games has shown his youth a little bit more, but he just hasn't gotten a lot of time because of Ivica Zubac. You know, he's got to play. He's got to play heavy minutes. He's 27. He should be able to. Clippers Cave said, I definitely feel like we should draft if we keep our pick. We need more young talent. I know it's hard to look ahead, though. Yeah, I mean, that's my initial inclination is they should be drafting if they can keep their pick. Since they don't have many. All right, let's hear from James Harden post-game here, guys. Let me get this audio set up. It's about 5:50 here. We got in Coach Lou. We got in Kris Dunn. I want to hear from the bearded wonder, James Harden, who had some underrated plays late in this game, by the way. James Harden, once again, big free throws. Made 2 to put him up 109 to 102. James Harden bouncing back in this way after missing those free throws against Phoenix is really encouraging. I don't think it stayed with him because he was asked about it yesterday when he knocked down 4 clutch free throws against Denver to win that game by Brad Turner of the LA Times. He asked him, you know, did it creep up in your mind that you missed those free throws the other night? And James just like, no, I mean, he's played so much ball. Like that's not some demon that he had to knock off of his shoulder or anything like that. Let's just move on to the next game. It's 35. Light work. All right, let's hear from James Harden post-game.
Today now, but when he keeps playing like this, we got to keep talking about him. Just
He's going to keep asking the same question, so I don't know.
Well,
I think he's going to keep happening.
So you're saying that he's going to keep playing like this?
Yeah, man. He does so much for us on both ends of the floor. You know what I mean? So I think the conversation is, you know, as far as, and it's early, but he does a lot, and he's going to continue to, you know, be aggressive, continue to do more for us. I told him today, like his goal is to be defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Like defensively, I think our group has a chance to be top 5 defense, and you know, he has a chance to be defensive player of the year. So that's the goal for him individually. But offensively, he's helped us, and it's my job and the rest of our guys' job is to make his job easier offensively. So just like he has our back defensively. So you know, we're gonna keep talking about this.
I'll ask you a slightly different question because he had 6 assists tonight. How have you seen?
That's a career high.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not a career high, but yeah. How have you seen his decision making evolve in the short roll?
He's been patient, man. Just even the one where I hit him in the pocket and he faked the weak side and nobody came and he dunked the ball. like you just work, constantly, behind the scenes, and the work is translating to in game. So, as a unit, we got to continue to do a really good job of staying locked in. But he's the main focus of this team.
You guys forced them to 20 turnovers tonight. That's the last count I saw. What did you guys do differently, maybe to get them off the rhythm? And
Differently for who?
it was just differently as far as getting the Warriors off their game.
I mean, we do what we do every single night, no matter who we playing against. So that's our backbone is defense. We gotta do a better job of capitalizing. But as far as what we did, we were just disruptive and playing Clippers basketball.
So it's 3 straight games where y'all have dominated the paint. I think other teams are getting more threes, but the fact
By the way,
that
we got to shoot more threes.
y'all have to shoot more threes. But how are y'all having so much success on both ends of the floor? Just make sure y'all blow teams out with the screen and paint.
That's priority. Get to the paint, and when you get into the paint, something good will happen to your offense. So I think that's a huge part of my job is getting into the paint and creating a domino effect. But for all of us, is getting into the paint and then generate a really good shot. And once the shot goes up, if we got a chance to offensive rebound, then we do it. But if not, we get back in transition, set up our half-court defense, and do it again for a full-quarter game, and we'll live with the results. But we go double digits, they go on a run, which we expect. It's a game of runs. We're on the road. Keep our composure and close the game.
James, you guys won 2 of your 3 games post game. What does it say about this team being able to win these games like
There's gonna be a lot of those this year. We don't want them to be. We want to blow teams out, but this is the NBA. It's the best sport in the world. So it's a lot of talent in this league, and just finding ways when it's fourth quarter and it's under 2 minutes or wherever the case may be, we find ways to continue to execute, get up a good shot, and then set our defense up. So the more times we can do that, the better we'll give ourselves a chance to win the games.
If you guys finish opening night a little bit better, you guys are probably 3-0.
Yeah, we'll be 3-0.
Do you feel like you guys are surprising people?
I don't know. Who cares? We focus on what we got going on in this locker room, and our organization. Like, that's not our job to be worried about other people and trying to surprise other people. Our job is to go out there, play hard for each other, play well, and try to win games for each other. You guys are, talk about it later.
James, after, go for it.
On a personal note, the language you've used over the years a ton is that you want to play basketball at the highest level and compete every night.
Yep.
So to have done that 3 times in 3 opportunities, how does it feel to you?
It feels really good. It feels like in my comfort zone. And so. Obviously the Suns game at home is one that we can't take back, that we feel like we should have won. But other than that, I think, my natural, leadership and playmaking role, scoring role, and everything else is where I feel the most comfortable. And, so I just got to continue to lead this team and do the things necessary. Sometimes it's going to be scoring 30 or 40. Sometimes it's going to be getting 15, 16 assists. So whatever the defense gives me that night, then that's what I'm going to do. And the ultimate goal is to win the game. So I'm just happy and excited about the guys that we have in this locker room. And like T-Boo said after the game, we stick with it. It's going to be somebody's night every single night. And I think the guys in here in this locker room are genuinely happy for each other, and that carries a long way. That's that gets you maybe 5 or 6, 7 more wins a year that you don't really get. So. Obviously it's 3 games in, but I like the way we're going.
After the Hawaii game, both you and Steph just kind of reflected on Instagram of this being year 16 and all the battles that you guys have had. Just what comes to mind when you think back on the 09 class and all the battles that you and Steph have had over
It happened fast, but I think just the prime of that Rocket situation going up against that dynasty was just real. It was something to really look back on. And I haven't, sat back and, really thought about it just because of, I'm still trying to, accomplish things. But, I had to really go up against a real dynasty, you know what I mean? And just it's special, I'm overly excited and proud of what he's accomplished in his career. And, it's just going to be, it's one of those things, stories we can talk about when we get older and retire.
Appreciate you, James. Thank you.
Let's ride.
There was James Harden post game. We got a Visa Zubac sound coming up too. So I think that was just posted. a lot to talk about with what James Harden said there, guys. A lot of good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, appreciate this. Lucky's R6 sent $10. I appreciate you, man. Means a lot. Big Zoo, keep up the great work, man. I love your content. Lucky's R6, really, really appreciate it, man. It's really nice, really kind of you. Don't take it for granted. The reason I like doing the lives, like I basically stopped doing the standalones because I just like talking with you guys. I just like being on here. So, and we can all learn from each other. And that's kind of what I'm trying to cultivate here. I know sometimes it comes at the expense of somebody being put in timeout that may be trolling or just so off base that it doesn't really help the conversation. But it's all in good fun in the end. But yeah, I am looking for some high-level basketball talk and some people I can learn from. And I know you guys can help supply some of that. So, James Harden there. First was talking about the goal for Ivica Zubac to be the defensive player of the year. Said their goal is to be a top 5 defense, or he thinks they can be. Good to hear that. He was asked about Ivica Zubac's passing ability from Joey Lynn, who joined me pregame, by the way, on Clippers Countdown. The pregame show's in the live section if you want to check it out. Who was my player to watch? Oh, it was Terrence Mann. I guess some people think that I failed there, but, you know. I'm going to pull some clips from Terrence Mann tomorrow to show you guys some of the defense he played on Steph Curry, because I think box score watchers are clueless. Not that there's nothing to a box score. You can't get anything from it. Of course you can. It just doesn't tell the full story all the time, especially for a guy like T-Man. But he talked about James Harden, Zubac's patience, and how he had that move where he looked off the defense and then had the little in and out dribble to the dunk. He faked out the defense there who thought he was going to kick it out. He had 2 shooters in Derrick Jones Jr. and Kris Dunn who have done their job with putting up shots. So there's a clear example of those guys attempting threes and being a threat out there, and that causing the defense to get or to have to pay attention to them. So Ivica Zubac could make that move that ends in a easy 2-handed dunk. It's a hell of a move. We played it earlier on here. He also said, did you guys hear the part of him saying shoot more threes? We need to shoot more threes. If you guys could confirm that for me, I heard it that way. See, this is just unproductive. If somebody comes in here and just says Terrence Mann sucks, like that doesn't, like that's a timeout. That's not advancing the conversation here. James Harden talked about getting to the paint and there being a domino effect from there and how important it is. Get to the paint or die trying, as Coach Lou always says. He understands they're going to be in a lot of close games. He obviously was still thinking a little bit about the Phoenix game and how they could be 3-0. He was asked about if they're surprising people, and he said, who cares? We're doing what we're doing in this locker room right now. We're not worried about surprising people or the media talking about them. It's about us. And he mentioned his natural leadership in this role and how comfortable he is right now, whether they need him to score 30, 40, or dish out 15 assists. The game will tell you. And he talked about guys being genuinely happy for one another and how that can get you, I think he mentioned like 7 more wins in a season. That's meaningful. But he also put things in perspective at the end and said, hey, we're 3 games in. So a lot of good stuff there from James Harden. Yeah, I don't like this. T-Man sucks. Sorry comment. It's just weak, man. Let's see. What else do we got here? Harden looked gassed at the end of the game against Golden State. Really worried about him getting worn down at this rate. I brought that up before the season started. Yeah, that's one of my biggest concerns. Without him, they're in deep trouble, which is part of the reason I think they're trying to get KPJ up to speed. You know, and I think it was Kris Dunn who talked about KPJ at the very end of his interview. Howard said, last one for me, if Kris Dunn can generate decent offense, I think that's asking a lot, and can be a threat, we can be very special. All the best to him. Excited for Kawhi coming back. This is his type of team. He will fit perfect. Yeah, just hope he can come back, be healthy, stay healthy. Jonathan Ing also said, something I saw better about Harden with his passing tonight was he wasn't telegraphing his passes to Zoo like the previous 2 games. Some sloppy handling at times, Curry ripping the ball from him. How many turnovers did Harden end up with? 5 to 11 assists, so just about a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Still 5 is he's probably kicking himself about that, if that's who he is. Blue R said, Adam, do you think we'll see Kawhi before Christmas? Have you heard anything regarding him? All I know is when I asked Law Murray, when he said he'll be back reasonably soon, I questioned that and said straight up, so before the end of this season or before the end of this year, I said, meaning before the end of 2024. And he kind of gave me a look. He thought I was joking. I was dead serious. Like, what does that mean? Reasonably soon is, I think, the words he used. But he's out indefinitely. No one can know. Do I think? Probably. But after he plays a game, how does the knee respond? Does it swell back up? I don't know. Rock Thousie said they better not trade that pick if they get it. ST said, I love Harden's leadership for this group. Me too, man. Harden's been really impressive with his leadership all offseason. Just knowing the role and how big of a role he'd have, he does look comfortable in this. But they have to be concerned about the minutes and him playing too many. And that's why you saw Derrick Jones Jr. bringing up the ball in a tight game late when you'd obviously want James Harden to do it. They're doing everything they can to try to lessen the offensive scoring load. Some people think that's not a big deal bringing the ball up. It is taxing. It is totally different. And that's why they had Derrick Jones Jr. doing it, even just for a couple of possessions, to try to keep Harden and his energy level high enough and to keep enough gas in the tank for him. G-Master Funk Flex said, there is some truth. We need KPJ to be back to his prime because we need him strong after the All-Star break. Okay. Cobra Noob said, Zoo getting 3 20-point games is a great thing to see. I'm not surprised. Like Nate Diaz said, I'm not surprised. Elijah said, just getting in here. We building the Zoo statue outside the Intuit Dome or what? I like Elijah. He's one of my favorites. Kay said, yeah. He said they need to shoot more threes. Thank you for confirming that. I thought he said that. I wasn't positive. Kay. Okay, he said it. He did say it. Thank you for having that. G-Master Funkflex said the NBA is about shooting threes, so he is right about that, but you should make them at least 40%. That's not easy. There's no you should make them at 40%. Like, if you as a team shoot 37% or above from 3, that's solid. That's very good. And the Clippers in the last 5 years with Coach Lue, I think twice have led the league in 3-point percentage, but they don't take enough of them. Yanni Tier said, I feel good enough about how we look right now that they should give Kawhi more than enough time to be ready. Again, like James just said, it's 3 games. But yeah, very encouraging signs. Jonathan Ing said, what is encouraging of James Harden's leadership is that he has shown maturity from his Houston days. I think so. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Blue R said, can't wait to get our first win at Intuit Dome. I think, that the R and the T on the keyboard are close together. He said, can't wait to get our first win at Intuit. Hopefully it's coming Wednesday, but you cannot overlook anybody. Like I said earlier, Portland just blew out the Pelicans at home. Proboli said we need Harden to freshen up the beard. It's looking a bit wild. How am I doing? No neck beard. All right. Let's hear from a guy who's got a nice beard and has had one for some time now in Big Zoo, Ivica Zubats. Where did I just see that post-game audio? I know it's up here somewhere. Come on. Where art thou, Big Zoo? I know I got it. I just saw it. Am I seeing things? Am I crazy? Okay, so this isn't from Hoop Jab. This is from Hoops Chef, who's a Steph Curry guy, I think. So tough night for him. I'll share the screen. I'll bring it up on mine too so I can listen. And we can all learn together at the same time. That's what it's about, guys. All right, let me make sure blow this up. Hit it for you. Mute my mic.
I'm happy with the team win. Like progressing game after game. Like, what are you most proud of from that standpoint?
I mean, it's only 3 games, but I'm trying to bring the consistency. You know, I'm trying to keep it up as long as I can. I'm trying to bring the same stuff every night to the teammates, so they can count on me. They can count on me on defensive end, on the offensive end. They can count on me to rebound, protect the rim, score in the post, finish around the rim. So I'm trying my best to bring the consistency.
I haven't asked you about Becky. I know he had so much influence on the kind of player that you are, the kind of person that you are, coach. Even though he's with this organization in Golden State, or he was Becky.
Huh?
Becky.
Oh, Decky, yeah, for sure.
You know, how much do you think about him?
A lot, especially, you know, when we come play over here against the Warriors. You know, not seeing him behind the bench, it's tough. He was an amazing dude. You know, every time we would come into the city, I would go to his apartment. His wife would make us a dinner. We would play cards or you know, do something. He was a really special guy, and he learned a lot from him and Mega, and even throughout my years in the league, he kept giving me advices. He pushed me a lot to trust in my left hook shot. He always wanted me to, you know, most of the teams take away my right hook, and he always like just trust in it. You know, you got a good touch, you got a good left hand. He wanted me to see that more, and no, really miss him.
What's the career high in assists?
7.
What the hell?
7.
What's changed for you over the years where now you find yourself also being a guy who can pass the ball? More assists?
It's just, you know, when you got a guy like James on the team, teams are going to blitz him a lot, and I'm the guy who's going to get that pass in the pocket and play 4 and 3. So it's really easy, you know, making a read from that, seeing where they help from. You know, someone's going to be open, or I'm going to have a shot. So it's really about every year we drill on you know, playing 4 and 3 after a blitz and all those drills, and just read the game. You know, someone's going to be open.
Yeah, you've looked ready for this moment for a long time, just the opportunity that you have this year. How fun has it been having an opportunity to be at the to start the year?
It's fun, man. It's fun being out there for you know, a lot of minutes. It's fun, you know, when they run plays for you. It's fun. It's just fun competing, man. Competing and going against the teams. You know, giving your best with your guys, having their back, them having your back. Just competing for you know, being out there 35 minutes, whatever. It's fun, and you know, especially when a team goes through you a little bit, which I get a lot with my national team. I always have fun with my national team. I always have a good time playing there. So having that atmosphere here, and you know, it's a lot of fun.
Is it less fun having to talk to us every game though, because you're playing so well?
I have to get out a little sooner now, but no, it's all good. I like you guys.
Talking to us, man?
I like you guys. I just said I like you guys.
I want to hear. Say it again. I like you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, and we like Big Zoo. How cool is that? You want to talk about a guy who has earned this opportunity, is making the most of it. Nice guy, longest tenured Clipper. He's been my favorite since Pat Bev has been off the team. He was up there with Pat Bev, but now clear-cut favorite. Kawhi's up there too. I root for the guys that are underrated and overlooked, and maybe it hits close to home, but guys who are finally getting their flowers, finally, with Big Zoo. Some of the stuff he said there, talked about first bringing in more consistency on both ends. Has to be more consistent. He realizes that. Well, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but you know, from my perspective it's hard to be consistent when you consistently haven't gotten the basketball much over the last couple of years. You have a good game. I've joked that it looks like they almost freeze them out sometimes with the few amount of touches he gets. And then Coach Lou says, hey, we're going to get him more involved, and it happens for a quarter, and then they go away from it. And I know it's not intentional. It's been a very talented team, but it's hard to build up or show consistency if you're not getting the same touches and looks every night. And he hasn't been. So I know you guys are saying it here. G Master Funk Flex said Zoo is a good human. That's the best part. Yeah, like he's so easy to root for. He's such a good guy. He's such a nice guy. He's so polite. He's always been like this with reporters. Yeah, Deki, the trainer from Serbia, talked about him a little bit in there. That was really sad. How he encouraged him to go to his right hand. They can't take it away. It's too good of a right hand. That was tough to hear. I know he was with Golden State. They went through that tragedy over the past year. Ivica Zubac also talked about knowing where to go in those 4-on-3 situations when he ends up getting trapped. Or excuse me, when James Harden or somebody else ends up getting trapped. They trap the ball handler. Like, that is his time. If we can go to this play again, he's talking about you got a 4-on-3 situation there. You have the advantage. And I'll bring this up because I think this play might illustrate that perfectly. The one we were watching a little bit earlier with the Ivica Zubac. Let me see if I can go to Justin Wilson's page to find it. At Clippers Film, as we were chatting a little bit in here. Let's see. Here's the play. Justin Wilson put it perfectly. Zubac is out here moving the defense with his eyes out of a short roll. So you'll see this here as I got the screen shared. Turn down the audio. Here comes the trap. I think that's Looney and Moody. It's tough to see on the video. Ivica Zubac is here. This is what he's talking about. This is a big opportunity for him. He's in a big spot. He's going to be making decisions out of this when they try to get the ball out of James Harden's hands. He's not the only one, but this is going to happen a lot because the easy pass is to your big man because you can pass it over the defense and still get it to him. Here's the 4-on-3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 players there in front building a wall. Not exactly the Stan Van Gundy wall. Although I wonder if he's given any tips to Jeff Van Gundy and talked about defense and how the Clippers can play it. This is it. He looked off the 3-point shooters, makes the move. Look at this. Zubac is just toying with the defense here. Looks to his left. Look at this handle. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's what he's talking about. That's what it's going to come down to often, making the right decisions there. That time it was the best decision to keep it for himself. You saw the result of it. Oh, Justin Rousseau just confirmed he'll be on with me around 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So not too early so I can sleep in. Justin Rousseau at Fly By Night will be here tomorrow morning on Clippers Talk. Then we got Clips and Dip tomorrow night. Adam is into it really as loud as everyone's saying it is. Yes. I have multiple times taken off my headphones just to get the full experience of Into It Dome. Because obviously if I have the headphones cranked up, I'm not going to hear the natural crowd sound, and it's loud. I guess the decibel meter got up to 107 the other night against Phoenix. Cobra Noob said people were hating on me for saying that Zubac can be a legit top 5 center. He's got a ways to go, but he's talented enough. I don't know if he's ever going to have the 3-point shooting or be able to stretch the floor like modern bigs, but will that limit him to not being able to be top 5? Maybe. Coffee and Ball said, Zoo going from star in his role to maybe just a star. Any stat predictions, Adam? I would love 16 and 10 from him. Well, I said before the season started, he has to be at least at 15 and 10 for the Clippers to be okay. Right now, do you guys want to know what Ivica Zubac is averaging? It's a little more than 15 and 10. He's currently at 22 and 12. Nearly 23 and 12 while shooting 63% from the floor. Yeah. So he is outpacing the numbers that I had him at. I think on the high end, the highest I could go to and really feel comfortable is like 18 and 11. But if he exceeds that, great. Love it. Chunk says Dorian Finney-Smith or Bojan Bogdanovic plus a healthy Kawhi, and we can legit contend. Is Bojan even healthy? Guys, there should be no trade of any more assets to quadruple down on Kawhi until we can see that he can stay healthy. That's craziness. Let's just see if he can stay healthy. Jay said the Zoo NATO fake out. Elijah said, love it, Jay. Jonathan Ing said, on TV, Intuit sounded like a playoff game. I mean, my guy Dime Dropper said that it was louder than what he had heard, at least regular season-wise, at Crypto. I think that's accurate. I'm not saying this is a timeout, but we got to stop with this stuff. I'm tired of every night having to say, these trades don't make sense until we see if Kawhi can actually stay healthy. Because if you trade for these guys and give up young assets and Kawhi can't stay healthy anyways, it doesn't matter. He's the hammer. He's the chance of winning a championship only if he can stay healthy. So please keep it to a minimum. I understand it's fun to think about trades and stuff, and I'm good with it to a point. I feel like I've been having to explain this every night. Just guys, let's see if Kawhi can stay healthy and then tell me who they should trade for. But, what's going to convince you that he can stay healthy at this point? Because last season he played 68 games and then all of a sudden was out. What would be enough to convince you that he is healthy and ready to go and sustainable with his health throughout a playoff run? I don't know. It is a big, I'll believe it when I see it right now, right? It's unfortunate. I feel terrible for Kawhi, but that's kind of where we're at with it. Where I'm at with this is an hour and 36 minutes in. That's how tired I am. I read that as a minute 36 minutes in. We're an hour 36 in. If you need more content, check out the official postgame show. Took some calls on AM 570. That's in the live section. You can go back to the pregame if you want. Yeah, Himothy said it. We don't even know when Kawhi is going to come back. Here we go. Chunk says, you don't think we can package Terrence and Bones? Did you just hear what I said? See, this is a timeout. I say all that, and then somebody goes right back to saying, but we could trade Terrence and Bones. No. Why would you trade anyone when you don't know if Kawhi can stay healthy yet? It doesn't matter who you trade for. If Kawhi can't stay healthy, you're not a contender. I tried. Yelling Tears said DeAndre Ayton averaging 13 rebounds right now. Will be interesting to see the Zoo matchup against him. Yeah, I like that. They've had some good matchups in Phoenix. I'm excited for that on Wednesday. 2 days off now. Not on this show. We're 7 days a week here on Clippers Talk. Just booked Justin Rousseau. That just happened. He'll be on Clippers Talk Live, 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning. Jay said, thanks, Adam, for these shows. Like and subscribe, peeps. Please do, guys. It really helps. Keeps me motivated as well, I guess. But I'm committed regardless. I care. Tupac care if nobody else cares. Zupac. That nickname is still a pretty good one. All eyes on Zoo. That's how we'll end things. All right. I'm out of here till 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Appreciate you guys. Help me get to 3K subscribers, I guess. Really been fun. I love going through the sound with you guys because I do that by myself anyways. I listen to all the post-game stuff, so why not do it on here for a little late night talk? Let's keep the likes up. It's for free. We have over 90 people in here late on a Sunday. It's pretty cool. Somebody from the Philippines. I love this stuff. I just love hanging out, talking ball, even when somebody's talking about all these trades. So, all right. Serenity now. Insanity later. All right. I'm out of here. Again, Justin Rousseau will be on the show tomorrow. Clippers Talk Live starts around 11 a.m. I'll keep you up to breast. At Follow NMA is where you can find all the news and information regarding the show. Until next time, love y'all. Clippers win 112-104, and they sweep the back-to-back, their first of the season. They're 2-1 after taking down the Golden State Warriors. Next game up, Blazers back it into a Dome Wednesday.